What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out one of the latest e-bikes from Fiido. What we have here today is called the C11 Pro. Now a little while back I also made a video for the regular C11 and in that video I said that is one of my favorite urban bikes out there. Well, this still applies to this one right here, so the C11 Pro. So this one is basically just a bit better than the regular C11. So I absolutely love this bike, and I know it's a funny way of starting a video, but it is a really nice bike. With that being said, let's start by doing a bit of an unboxing just so I can show you how the bike comes packed in the box and what you have to do to get this ready and on the road. Alright, so the bike comes in a fairly big box, however the box is not that heavy. This bike has a weight of about 24.5 kilos, so for an e-bike definitely not that bad. So you could even carry this up the stairs if you wanted, because it's not crazy heavy. For installation, you do have to do a bit of an installation. So you kind of have to put the screws together for this rear mudguard. You have to install the pedals, you have to install the handlebar right here, you have to put the front wheel together, the front mudguard and the light. All in, it's gonna take you about half an hour, I'm gonna say. So overall it's a very easy installation process. Looks wise, this looks very similar to the regular C11, so if you see them side by side you may not be able to tell which one is which, because they do look very similar. However, this is a very attractive design for an urban city bike. Right here in the frame we have the battery pack. With the C11 Pro we actually get a somewhat larger battery pack, so this is a 10.4 amp hour battery pack. This is also removable, so there are a couple of keys that come in the box, so you can just remove the battery pack, charge it at home and then bring it back and put it in the bike. So I kind of like this design, how the battery pack is integrated in the frame. One of the things that's different to the C11 Pro when compared to the regular C11 are the dual piston hydraulic disc brakes that we get on this one. Now the braking power on the C11 was really good. I didn't have anything bad to say about it. So the braking power from these brakes is even better. Not to mention that whenever you are braking, whenever you are riding, the brakes don't actually make any noise. So it is a very quiet ride. The front suspension on the C11 Pro is also a bit beefier when compared to the C11. Now, the C11 was a pretty comfortable bike to ride, so you didn't really feel any bumps or anything like that. So this still applies to this bike. It is a very comfortable bike to ride. Now, I also love the fact that the handlebar here can kind of be adjusted in height. Well, in a way, you can kind of pull it more towards you, so you can make your riding position as you please. So you're not stuck in one position. You can actually be a bit more leaned back, a bit more leaned forward, depending how you like riding. So when you combine that with the front suspension, of course, you get a very comfortable riding position. The seat here, of course, is adjustable in height, so very easy to adjust up and down. And it also has a lot of padding available. Of course, this doesn't have the most padding that I've ever seen on a seat, but it is pretty comfortable for longer periods of time. So even if you're riding for a couple of hours, you're not gonna feel that your rear end hurts. All right, and we are moving on to the motor. So the motor is located in the rear wheel. Now, if you check the manufacturer's website, it says that this is a 250 watt motor. On the C11 it says that it has a 500 watt motor. Now honestly, I don't feel any difference between the C11 Pro and the C11. So whenever you are riding, you do have a lot of power. Not to mention that you can unlock the bike, and if you unlock it, it actually goes to about 45-ish kilometers an hour, and it does have a lot of power. So maybe it's a 250 watt motor before you unlock the bike, because I just straight up unlocked it, and it does go really well for a 250 watt motor supposedly. So I believe that this is still a 500 watt motor, just as it was on the C11, but maybe it's just limited to 250 watts, well, before you unlock it anyways. So it doesn't matter where you're riding. If you're riding on a flat surface, if you're riding uphill, you do have a lot of power available. This bike is also equipped with a torque sensor. The other one was equipped with a speed sensor, if I remember right. So this one feels more like a regular bike, let's say, when you're pedaling. So basically, as soon as you touch the pedal, as soon as you push on the pedal, the bike will assist you. So it's a very natural feel. Basically, you're just pedaling along. You don't really have to put that much effort into pedaling, and the bike assists you whenever you push on the pedal. So the torque sensor that they used in this bike, it's also quite good. Now, if you don't want to pedal at all, let's say that you want to be a bit lazy, you want to just sit back and enjoy the ride, well, we also have an accelerator here, so you can easily, let me just power this on. You can easily accelerate with the throttle here. So if you don't feel like pedaling one day, you can easily go just by accelerating with that throttle. Now, at the same time, if you don't feel like using the electric motor or the battery pack, you can just use this as a regular bicycle. We also have a 7-gear Shimano shifting system. Shifting through gears up and down works flawlessly as well. So if you just want to use the bike as a regular bike, you definitely can. And since the bike is not that heavy, well, you can just use it as a regular bike. Moving on to the handlebar here. So the handles here are made out of this leather-like material, let's call them. I don't believe that's leather, but it does feel really well. We have our brake levers here. We have our screen on the left-hand side here. The screen is visible during the day, so even if it's a super sunny day out, you can still see the screen here really well. We also have a bell here. However, you have a bell in the front light as well. And that kind of brings us to the lights, because I totally forgot about the lights. So of course we have a light on the front of the bike and a rear light as well. The rear light also acts as a brake light. So whenever you pull on the brake levers, that will light up. And of course, as you've noticed by now, on the back here, we also have a little rack. So if you need to carry something, you can definitely put something on there. And we also have plastic mud guards on the back and of course on the front. And I'm happy to say that the mud guards don't actually make any noise whenever you're riding. So really there is no noise whatsoever whenever you are riding this bike. It is extremely quiet, nothing squeaks, nothing makes any noise. So aside from having a comfortable ride, it's also extremely quiet. Alright, so let me quickly show you how easy it is to ride this bike. So we have our power button right here. You hold this pressed for about 3 seconds or so. And from here you can change assistance levels. We have 3 levels of assistance. We'll go into Sport, which is kind of like the middle level of assistance. And basically you can go 2 ways. You can accelerate to the throttle, so kind of like this. Or you can start pedaling, and because we have a torque sensor, literally as soon as you push on the pedal, like instantaneously, the bike gives you power. And of course, the harder you push, the more power the bike will give you. If you don't want to pedal though, so let's say that you just want to relax, you can just accelerate to the throttle here and you don't actually have to pedal at all. So it really depends how you want to ride the bike, but it's extremely easy to ride. Just push on the pedal and the bike will assist you. We'll do a bit of a brake test from about 20 kilometers an hour. So if you want, you can definitely lock that rear wheel. And as I said, the brakes are also extremely quiet. And we'll do another brake test around here. So extremely quiet. So that easy riding this bike. And of course, if you want, you can use the turbo mode and then the bike will assist you even more. So the higher the assistance level, the less effort you actually have to put into pedaling. So to quickly conclude this video, the Fiido C11 was a brilliant bike and still is a brilliant bike, because you can still buy the C11. I will leave a link to that video in the video's description. The C11 Pro basically takes the C11 and just makes it a bit better for a bit extra money. So if I would be to choose one, I would definitely choose the C11 Pro, because it is only like a couple of $100 more expensive. So definitely worth getting the Pro over the regular version. However, the regular version, as I said, it's still a brilliant bike. So if you're looking for a super quiet, good looking urban city bike, well, this is definitely the one to get. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.